Hey folks, this is Ben Gessel. How's it going? I might not make a whole lot of other videos, at least in this neighborhood, before I move. And as you guys probably already know, I'm already set to move on the 11th. So, on the 11th, of course, you're going to see some new scenery, that's for sure. But this probably looks still somewhat familiar. So, I only have so much juice in my phone, unfortunately. I don't know how long this is going to last. Usually I do okay. I know how much juice I have on here. Just I use my phone a lot. But I know I haven't put out a lot of great videos recently. Been very busy. I've been moving, been packing my stuff, putting in boxes, cleaning. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I'm gonna do that Thursday. I'm gonna do that Friday. Do that Saturday. I mean, that's all I've been doing, other than teaching lessons. Pretty much. So, but I have some thoughts here. Um, it's one of those things that goes without saying. I think that one of the reasons why we're here on Earth is um, to build people up, to help people feel better. But we often fail miserably at that sort of thing. And let me tell you a little bit more what I'm talking about, these trains of thoughts. There's a lot of things that give us happiness and joy, meaning, and fulfillment in life. We all are more or less trying to get at those things, but we often fail miserably. We often fall very short of where we want to be. But regardless of all that, we it feels so good when you can have a great conversation with somebody. And sometimes for some people it's absolutely amazing. But any great conversation, any time you spend with other people. In my church, we have something called we used to call it visiting teaching, or for women, or home teaching for men. Now it's just called home ministering. And I've always thought that was great. And you usually talk about something religious, and then you talk about, or often from the apostles, and then you ask them how they're doing, of course, and if there's anything you can do to help them. I've always felt like, and whatever else, like, all kinds of stuff. You try to help them with whatever they need help with. I always felt like, but here's the deeper thing going on with all this stuff. And the bishop of my board kind of called this all out in a way. He kind of mentioned this. He's like, well, I think he used better words than I could, but it's like, wouldn't it be great if we came to church and we were all just doing our best to repent and to kind of take our pride off, and our masks, and our way of looking really righteous in front of other people, and that's often how nice your clothes look and stuff. Wouldn't it be great if we just took all that stuff and just humbled ourselves and became more like little children, and just were really for real with each other, even more than we have been in the past? Wouldn't that be great? My bishop said something like that. Bishop of my home ward, Kenmore ward, and it's like, yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Like, exactly. It's human nature to always be hiding something from people that you love or that you know, it's hard to always, it's hard to be completely contrite and have no secrets and have no, you know what I mean? Like but this is a very real thing. I mean, like, you could have somebody who has so many good things going for them in life, so many good things, and if that person isn't truly for real with other people in some way, shape, or form, that person is poorer in a way, very real way, than someone who has very little and is for real with everybody. I mean, yeah. And I didn't mean to talk about, again, religion again, but it's just that anything that's meaningful, more meaningful, is what we ought to be. That's what religion is. If something isn't as meaningful, and it's not as religious, even if we often might think it is. Anyway, so I'm gonna be. I've lived in this area, this neighborhood, for quite some time. Quite some time. I know it's kind of dark. I know you can't see very much. I know you guys have often watched. Some of you guys have watched a lot of my evening videos, and it's easier for me to think about things more in depth. Well, there's a lot of rush during the day, increasingly so, and having this time at night, to go out and just go for a walk is great. And so sometimes my videos do get a little lengthy, and I appreciate the fact that you guys seem to understand that this is one of the things that I am interested in. When I move into my new place, it'll be a lot easier to make music videos, by the way, because the whole situation is different. I'm going to have a different landlord, whole different schedule. It'll be different. Much easier to make those music videos without bothering no landlord about whatever. So, but finally getting out of my place. And I've been mentioning this for a while, that, oh wow, I am sick and tired of living where I've been living. Let me tell you. Oh, wow. But it's just, time to move. And I really have had a lot of new students recently. So many that there are days and I'm wondering if I'm forgetting to teach a lesson or something like that. My day, I'm always checking my phone. I'm like double checking if somebody's having lessons or not, or if they, this is the sidewalk that is all bumpy and it's hard to follow. So I'm gonna do this. Usually when I'm going for these walks, if I'm filming stuff and talking, there's always that little battery, 15% power thing that comes on. So once that comes on, I'll know, like, oh, I can wrap this up soon. It's kind of handy. Anyway. It feels good. Whatever connections I have with people right now, they feel great. And I know I'm going to have more of them. And some part of me is saying that life is going to work out somehow. I don't know. That's just my gut feeling. So I'm just trying to go day by day, do what I need to do to earn more money. Yeah, it's there's a lot of things during life that when when you're living life, there are a lot of things that don't always make sense when you're in the moment. And then when you look back on things, then things do make a lot of sense. They make more sense. They might not always make complete sense. Um, and it's just that the main thing is, well, did you try to do the best you could? You know, that's always the question to be asked. It's like, did you try to do what you could to be a good person? And did you try to stand up for other people that were being bullied or that were being taken advantage of? Um, did you take your advantage of someone else because you could? Um, anyway, but there's always the next day. There's always the future. And you can always change for the better. Um, so I must confess, Shoreline is an interesting place. I had a music lesson there tonight, and great students there. But sometimes I've forgotten just how, um, uh, well, yeah, how can I put this? Yeah, it's just kind of sketchy. A lot of areas of Highway 99, from Everett clear down to, yeah, almost like Seattle, like North Seattle, and it, um, I don't know. There's a question of, so there's a question of, if it's late at night and you're just kind of in La La Land, or you're just chilling, relaxing, or doing whatever, and you're in an urban area, and you're just hanging out, you're just minding your own business, or you're talking with some friends, whatever it is, because it's late at night and it's a place where the people are at, are you more inclined to want to do something crazy or dumb or stupid or less moral or whatever? I totally get that. I totally understand that. I don't know what it is always about the dark, but the dark seems to kind of attract negative spirits, to say, or evil spirits. And it only really attracts negative spirits, I think, if a person is more inclined to want to do bad things. But I don't know. It's just one of those things. You can't always explain why this is the way it is, but it just is. Um, Darkness seems to attract evil spirits. Not always, but that's why sometimes we're afraid of the dark and stuff. Um, there's also the question of, would you be more inclined to do something a little bit against one's morals if you were to not be seen? It's like something you do in private or nobody would know, kind of thing. Now, of course, someone might think I'm talking about something more sexual in nature in this regard, and sure, I mean, yeah, but not just something like that, but definitely including those kinds of things. But isn't it funny how darkness can hide evil deeds? And that's one of the reasons why evil spirits like the dark, because it kind of hides what they can do. It's this is one of the big things. If anyone's wondering why, those big why questions, this is one of the whys. Of course, nothing is hidden from God, but it might seem like it's hidden because it's so dark when someone's doing something bad. So, this is not such a complicated thing. It's very much a spiritual realm kind of thing, and it's not like 2 + 2 = 4. Anyway, but yeah, it's been kind of I'm actually, as it is, I'm kind of out of it right now. Had a big long chat with a nice girl, but anyway. Oh, this road, I know. What I'd like to be able to do, ladies and gentlemen, is I'd like to be able to earn some more money. Save some more money. Move forward in life a little bit more, sure. I'm just trying to learn, gain experience however I can, while not having crazy bad things happen to me. You know, trying not to be an evil person myself, right? There's always a question, of course, of evil. What makes someone evil? Such a strong word. I had a roommate in college who said that he felt like people aren't really evil. That's such a strong word to use. And by the same token, some people would say nobody's really good. We're all kind of in the middle somewhere. And that's a comforting thought, because we can feel very condemned at times for these very high standards that of living that we ought to live by. We feel expected to live by. And so we don't measure up to those things. We might feel like we are evil or unworthy to go to live with God again, or we're going to go to hell or something. I think that, this is one of the most commonly discussed topics, I think. In some way, shape, or form, everybody's talking about it still. This is why people are so anti-religion a lot of times. And why people are attracted to things like Satanism, as opposed to being satanic. I've heard all that stuff before. This is all very common ground to me, you know. I think about all this is, the whole idea, my estimation, is that this is a period of time where we are kind of determining where ultimately we're going to be going. And the time at which time's up, kind of thing, is at the judgment bar of Christ. Up until that point, right, there's still things we can do to affect where we're going to be heading. But then there's a question of what kind of character do we need to have to go live with God again. And it has everything to do with happiness, and it's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot that goes into it. If you feel joy with certain things, like when you hear beautiful music, particularly beautiful music, or when you if your affections, I think it's Ray Vaughan Williams, right? If your affections, feelings are very heavenly in nature, then obviously you're heading in the right direction. And if your affections are dark as ebony, right, in this serrative music, then that's probably a bad sign. It's a sign that things are not going so well for you spiritually. But it's a struggle. We're all struggling against evil. We don't want to be evil, I would think. Sorry, I think I just heard a wild animal back there or something. I don't know. I wonder if somebody's playing the piano or something. Anyway. Yep, somebody's playing the piano. Actually, it's violin strings. Anyway, I think I know those folks too. Cello. Some kind of string group that's music at night? I don't know. So the definition of who an evil person is, well, an evil character, I would think it's much more extreme than just the gray area that many of us find ourselves in. Many times it's somebody who actively pursues the misery of other people. Misery, the pain. They want people to feel pain and misery, just for the sake of feeling that way. So I think, bullies are kind of evil, aren't they? Well, bullies might do what they do for a variety of reasons, but the more that those reasons are closer onto, they just hate humanity, period. It's like the more that one's feelings become warped and darkened by all the things like lust and inhumanity and greed and all the other stuff, and that's evil. Yeah, I'm a pedophile is probably evil. We can all agree on that. But a lot of folks, increasing these days, want to call everybody a pedophile. Let's face it, there's just a lot of rumors going around all the time. All kinds of stuff. This neck of woods, it's always been great. But a little dark too, I'll admit it. I haven't really been out in this section of forest for a while. That's what it is. I think Star Wars had it right. One of the reasons why we love Star Wars is because of how accurately Star Wars portrays good and evil, even if it's kind of juvenile or fantasy oriented. If a story presents characters as being clearly good or clearly evil, it's not such a juvenile approach to things always. It's a very reassuring thing. Or it's like some kind of guideline or some kind of compass we can use in a way, because we were told, we're taught about teaching of Jesus, right? But we don't remember. We don't. It's like Jesus was alive such a long time ago. We can read about his life, but we can't see him. But you can certainly see Obi-Wan Kenobi. And a lot of times, movies do that for you. And movies are some make-believe. So then, the best thing is if you know somebody in real life who you can really count on and trust to be a really good person. But we all fall short of Jesus Christ. He's the best example, the greatest example we have. But hold on. This guy's going really fast. Pretty fast. And by the way, regarding these kinds of experiences, walking in the dark, You know, there's always a question of fear. Learning to conquer your fears. And then good versus evil. The more that one person understands what evil really is, you know, it gives you understanding, it gives you courage. There's still things that could frighten me, it's true. But, you know, the one thing that demons and Satan can't stand is when you call them on their crap. They can't stand that. It makes them angry. Doesn't it make you angry when somebody calls you on your crap? When it really was, you know you did something wrong? On some level, the more grievous the thing it was, it always makes, it can make anybody upset. But there's always human miscommunication and misunderstanding about this sort of thing too. But, you know, if it's real, if somebody really, anyway. So, anyway. But yeah, Satan can't stand it when you just say, you know what, you're full of crap. You know, it's like you throw up your hands. So you can be, you know, I've realized I can be afraid of a lot of things in life, unknown and stuff. That's part of life. That's like, sure, but at least you never lose sight. It's important to never lose sight of those beings that are truly good, those beings that are truly evil. Because if you lose sight of that, that's everything, you know. So that's the danger of wading too much into this gray area. Everything's gray. Everything's relative. Everything's whatever. Anyway, just some thoughts for you guys tonight. You guys have a good night. Take care.